Good day, everyone. Welcome to Literature and English class. Oluwaseun Oyeleye is my name, representing Edu Media Africa. The goal is to reach every senior secondary school student preparing for the West African Senior School Certificate Examination. In this lecture, we're going to consider The Leader and the Led by Niyi Osundare, Emeritus Professor Niyi Osundare. And in this lecture, we will look at the analysis of the poem The Leader and the Led. The Leader and the Led is one of the recommended poems in WAEC, one of the recommended African poetry in WAEC, and of course, senior secondary school students ranging from senior secondary school 1 will need this at least between 2021 and 2025. Quickly to the poem The Leader and the Led, written by Niyi Osundare again. In stanza 1 of the poem, where the lion stakes his claim to the leadership of the pack, but the antelopes remember the ferocious pounds of his paws. The hyena says the crown is made for him, but the impalas shudder at his lethal appetite. The giraffe craves a place in the front, but his eyes are too far from the ground. When the zebra says it is right to lead, the pack points to the duplicity of his tribes. The elephant trudges into the power tussle, but its colleagues dread his trampling feet. The warthog is too ugly, the rhino too riotous, and the pack thrashes around like a snake without a head. Our need calls for a hybrid of habits, proclaims the forest sage. A little bit of a lion, a little bit of a lamb, tough like a tiger, compassionate like a doe, transparent like a river, mysterious like a lake. A leader who knows how to follow, followers mindful of their right to lead. Now straight to the analysis of the poem. From the entire poem, it is understood that the poet paints an image of a forest with different animals contesting or jostling for elective positions, leadership positions. And the part also begins with the lion staking his claim to the leadership of the pack. In other words, the use of stake there simply means that the lion's quest for leadership is not based on nomination. It's not because the lion is nominated by other animals in the forest. The lion simply assumes that it is his duty to lead the pack. And quickly, this poem is a narrative on leadership problem in Africa. The poet creates a world of forest and narrates a tale of ambitious animals who struggle for leadership position. And of course, the poem explains a huge gap between the leaders and the led in Africa. There appears to be no middle ground at all. It's either you are extremely rich or you are extremely poor. So this poem explains the huge gap that exists between the leaders and the led in Africa. Now, after the lion's quest to lead the pack, the antelope, which you can see on the left-hand side there, the antelopes are conscious or afraid of the ferocious pounds of his paws and may not have acquiesced or agreed to the lion's leadership. In other words, the antelope in this poem is cautious, is wary of the lion's ferocity. If the lion ever gets into leadership position, the lion may make life unbearable unto other animals in the forest. These other animals obviously represent the Africans who are being led by their leaders. And again, we have the hyena who claims the crown is made for him. In other words, there is a tone of finality there. The hyena simply claims that the crown is made for him. The hyena does not see any reason where it should be elected at all. It simply believes that the crown is made for him. But the impalas, which you can see on the left-hand side again, shudder at the hyena's lethal appetite. In other words, the impala is wary or conscious of the hyena's consumptive ability or its voraciousness. If the hyena ever gets to power, the hyena may devour all the animals remaining in the forest, and because of this, the hyena is disqualified. Then the giraffe also jostles for leadership position as it craves a place in the front. Obviously, the giraffe capitalizes on its long neck and assumes that it is its own right to lead the pack. But the giraffe's disqualification stems from the fact that his eyes are too far from the ground. In other words, if the giraffe ever gets to the leadership position, the giraffe may not be conscious of what happens to other animals in the forest, and because of this, it is disqualified. Subsequently, the zebra too lays claim to leadership position, but this claim to leadership is countered by the duplicity of its stripes. In other words, the zebra is disqualified because of its double dealings, because of its deceptiveness, the duplicity of its stripes. Then we have the elephant too. The elephant trudges into the power tussle. The expression trudges there simply explains the weight of the elephant. The elephant believes that because of its weight, it's probably its right to lead other animals in the pack. But unfortunately, the elephant is even disqualified by animals of its own kind. Other animals are afraid of its trampling feet, and its weight may endanger other animals in the forest. So, other animals believe that the elephant is overweight, it is weighty, and as such, the weight might cause it to trample upon other animals in the forest. Because of this, the elephant too is disqualified. The point goes on to mention that the warthog is disqualified because of its ugliness. The warthog is said to be too ugly. And we have the rhino, which is said to be too riotous. And its riotous nature, the rhino's riotous nature, disqualifies it from getting into leadership position in the forest. But we have the forest sage in this poem who appears to have solution to the pervasive problem. The forest sage says, our need says of the forest sage, that proclaims the forest sage, calls for a hybrid of habits. In other words, the forest sage believes that whoever is going to lead the pack will need a combination of habits. Leadership is devoid of ferocity. In other words, leadership has nothing to do with being ferocious or huge, that's being huge or having strong appetite. It doesn't even have anything to do with downgrading others. The forest sage simply believes that what is needed to lead the pack is a little bit of a lion, a little bit of a lamb. In other words, whoever is going to lead the pack will need to be as ferocious as a lion, as dangerous as a lion, and of course as compassionate as a lamb, or as docile as a lamb. The forest sage also recommends that whoever is going to lead the pack must be as tough as a tiger that is ready to attack. He says that toughness of a tiger and the compassion of a doe is needed to lead the pack. In other words, a leader has to be high-handed at some point and of course needs to show compassion at another point. Toughness of a tiger, compassion of a doe. But the forest sage does not end it there. A leader is one who knows how to combine followership with leadership. In other words, and on the final note now, the poet simply writes that good leadership is something that is planned and calculated. Other animals won't have to rely on their size or their ferocity or their appetite before they can lead other animals in the forest. What is needed to make a good leader is to carefully plan for it, to know the right time to lead, and to know the right time to follow. Now, we always want to get feedback from you, and you can reach Edu Media Africa on Facebook. You can check the page, facebook.com/EduMediaAfrica. You can reach us via Gmail, edumediaafrica@gmail.com, and you can telephone us on 070-3196-7908. See you next time. Bye bye.